Kick'N It Kosher. I'm your host, Dael, and today I'm not in the studio or at my home. Actually, I am traveling out into the big wide open. Now, y'all have heard of Jeremiah Johnson, the big mountain man? Obadyah, the mountain. Okay, I like kid with the body. I don't have to worry about him strangling me to death here, and this will be part of this show has been a part of the evidence for murder scene. So. No, Obadyah has been telling me for quite a while now about this chicken that you make.
Yes, sir.
And now everybody knows I love chicken. I'm a big chicken fan. Southern boys, and we know you. I consider you Southern.
Yes, sir.
Especially now that you got this recipe that you're going to be sharing.
Yes.
So now you're in the boys club for the chicken, and we're not going to sing "I'll Fly Away." So we're just going to eat the bird. Okay?
There we go.
So now he was telling me about this recipe about using a gluten-free.
That's right.
Recipe.
Yep.
Now I know here lately everybody's getting into the gluten-free thing because they find out the gluten. In a way, some gluten's good for you because especially if it's got the alkaline version in it, and some other people are like they still can't deal with it. So everybody's pretty much going to a gluten-free diet. So what we got here?
On the subject of gluten, if you don't mind me interjecting, the problem that most people have with modern gluten is modern wheat is not the wheat that our ancestors ate. It is a very strange cross hybrid that's got 126 proteins, whereas the ancient lines would only have 2 or 3. So people like myself try to go gluten-free, and one of the southern dishes that we like is fried chicken. And the problem with gluten-free fried chicken is there's no gluten to hold it all together. But I found a recipe, and I'm going to share it with you. And what we have here is some gluten-free all-purpose flour, which is very important because you got to get the kind that's got the xanthan gum and the quinoa and the millet and the rice, or else you're just going to have a mess and you're not going to have good fried chicken.
Now, this right here is actually kosher.
Yes, this is
kosher.
The brand is a Jewish company. They do a lot of Jewish bakery items, special things for the festivals, Hanukkah, and it does have the kosher symbol on it, so it is a kosher certified product. And you can get these big bags. I think it was like $11, something like that, at Sam's Club. And it is 5 pounds of flour. You can use cup for wheat. And it is really good. It has a good flavor and a good texture. And we're going to use it for our fried chicken.
Find out just how good.
And then I fry in coconut oil. I find it to be the best frying oil. A lot of people like to cook in vegetable oil, peanut oil, corn oil. And I've tried them all. And I find coconut is good for your heart. It's good for your brain. It's good for just about anything. And it's good for frying. And I use large, brown, not organic, but as close to as you can get without spending $5 a dozen. Some regular salt and pepper and a little bit of poultry seasoning to kind of give it something a little different than what you might get out of regular fried chicken.
Okay. Now I know I got switched on to the coconut oil myself.
Yeah.
I love olive oil.
Oh yes.
But when I found out that the coconut oil actually, when it's heated up, it doesn't burn as quick.
That's right.
And it's actually, like I said, all the nutrition and the value for it is actually healthy for your body. So if you never tried coconut oil in cooking or anything, I urge you to try it.
Oh yes.
Also use it for doing other things as well.
Yep. Good for making toothpaste, shampoo, soaps,
everything.
just about everything.
Stuff for sunburns.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. So, all right, I'll tell you what, man. I'm starting to smell
the oil getting
the oil back here in this pan. It's like it's calling for the chicken. Give me the chicken. So, you go ahead and what we need to do and to get this started.
Well, first we gotta take the chicken and bread it, and there's a special technique I want to share with everybody, because if you want to do this recipe, I want you to be able to. So we're gonna do a little close up.
All right, we're gonna get things set up, and we'll be right back.
All right, so to begin our preparation, I cut up 3 leg quarters, thigh and drumstick, and I actually cut some of the extra skin and fat off, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bread these first, and I'm going to fry them up, and I'm going to taste my recipe, because I don't have an exact recipe. I don't have 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of seasoning or what have you. It's very, old-fashioned, just cut and dry kind of stuff. So I'm going to take these little bits here, and I'm going to douse it in my egg wash. Now the trick to gluten-free chicken is the egg wash. There's a lot of recipes they call, when you look up gluten-free fried chicken online, they have you do a regular milk and egg wash that's ineffective with gluten-free flours. It doesn't make it stick. And if you look here, you can see the gluten-free flour is sticking just like any other fried chicken. And when you fry it, you're going to have a little bit of flour that comes off, which is normal, but you won't have a complete loss of all of your crunchy goodness. I'll put it right here in coconut oil. And the trick to the egg wash is to just use eggs. I put 5 eggs in here, and I beat them lightly. I didn't beat them too hard, because you want the protein of the egg to hold on to the gluten-free flour and get it well enough to keep the flour from going all the way off. You can see I got my oil nice and hot, which if you've never fried chicken before, the secret to a good fried chicken is that scald, that hot oil when you get it first started. And that's what makes the outside nice and crispy, gives it that crunchy texture, that good old feel in your mouth. That's part of what makes fried chicken so yummy. Now these will cook quickly and be done fast because they're small pieces. And once we get that done and we let it cool down a bit and taste it, we can adjust our recipe and go for the full-fledged chicken. Alright, it looks like our testing nuggets are done. I'm going to put it in the strainer so that oil drips off and your chicken's not too greasy. You always like a little bit of the fat in there to give it that touch of flavor, but too greasy and you got a mess on your hands. We're going to let this cool. I'm going to turn the oil down a little bit. Now we're going to taste these, and if they taste good, we won't change the recipe, but if they taste bad, too salty, too peppery, not enough salt, we'll change it up and we'll get the real chicken fried here in just a few minutes. Right, now we're going to drench this drumstick in some of this egg wash. I call this the bowl's too small method. And then put her in some of the old flour. A little more flour on top of this. Now I like to do the drumsticks first because they cook the fastest and it doesn't take much. And they'll be ready and cooled down enough by the time you get to the thighs. The rule with fried chicken, for those of you who don't know, is to get you a good scald, which is your initial hot oil fry. It gets that nice golden crust on there, like that. And once you get your scald, then you take and you lower the temperature, and you put a lid on it, and you let it cook. And drumsticks will take about maybe 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to a little water in there. Take about 15, 20 minutes to cook to the bone. You normally set it on medium to medium high to get the oil hot. And then you put your lid on and put it down to medium low and let it sit in the oil and cook. Cast iron is one of the lost traditions of America. And there's just so much versatility to it. It does take a little work to maintain, but the flavor is pure. You don't have the slightly plasticky, you don't have the metallic, like if you use aluminum, for example. I've known some people who use the thick aluminum frying pans, and it always has a metallic taste to it when it's done. And the non-stick, of course, most people understand by now that typical Teflon or non-stick is extremely bad for your health. It leaches into your food, it flakes off, you ingest it. And some research suggests that it's actually so harmful for you that it might even cause cancer. Now, I don't know for sure, but that's what they say. And with cast iron, you always have a purity of flavor. You always have excellent heat distribution. And these things can be passed down from generations. Now, this pan is very unique. I found it at a scrapyard, cleaned it up, fired it up in a fire to get it good and burn out. So if they use pork, there's all burned out of it. It's now kosher and clean. And I rubbed it down with olive oil, and I baked it in an oven. And I don't use soap. For those of you who have a cast iron or have never used one, you never use soap.
Never.
Because the iron is porous, and it'll get in your food, and it'll make it horrible and nasty, and you'll have to wash it and wash it and wash it until you finally get it done. But a good kosher oil to season your pans with is olive oil. You get it nice and hot, put some olive oil in there, and spread it around, and it keeps it it seasons it, makes it non-stick, and all around good for...
Keeps it from rusting.
Yeah. So, now that we've got a good skull, we'll go ahead and put the lid on it, turn it down to a low medium, and I'm just going to let it sit, and I'll check on it maybe every 5 minutes so that it doesn't get too burnt on one side or, too brown. And in about 15-20 minutes, our drumsticks will be cooked to the bone, and they'll be ready to eat. Now as we fry this, it'll slowly get darker and darker. So you get that golden fried chicken look to it. Alright, now you can see the flour has stuck to it. I mean, there's a couple of spots where you have a little bit of bareness, but the tendon's coming up on the drumstick, and it's got that nice golden sheen to it. So we're calling this done. We're going to stick it over here and let some of that oil drain off so it's not so greasy when you get your fingers on it. I'm going to let that one sit a little bit longer. And so we bring the oil back up to temperature, and that's when you get started on the thighs. And it's the same basic process. Submerge it in egg wash. Now this egg wash is just 5 eggs, beaten fairly lightly with just a tablespoon of water to make it a little bit easier to liquefy, because otherwise it's just going to be too thick. And but that's the trick to going gluten free. You gotta have that egg to hold it together instead of the gluten that you would normally have in regular white flour. Alright. Got our chicken. And frying chicken is an act of love. This is a lot of work, and you can mess it up. You can overcook it, you can undercook it. You can get the spices wrong, you can get the egg wash wrong, get the flour wrong. But when you have good fried chicken, that there's a lot of work that went into it, and a lot of love. And I think that's kind of what cooking should be, an act of love. Alright. Say that's done. Because we have such big thighs, I'm going to let these two cook, and we'll cook the third one separately a little bit later. And a little more of the flour to keep it thick. And it'll cling to the egg wash that's already on there, so you will have a little bit of a loss of flour into the oil. Matter of fact, when you cook a lot of fried chicken, a lot of gluten-free fried chicken, you actually have to switch out the oil about halfway in between, because you'll get so much of the flour on the bottom that it'll burn, and it'll make the chicken taste burnt. And so you know, like, I'm cooking 3 leg quarters, so that's 3 drumsticks and 3 thighs. But if you were to double that after you get done with the 3 leg quarters, you would want to take the pan off, and you'd want to either filter the oil into another pan and then clean out all the flour and then put the oil back in, because you can reuse it. Or you'd want to just, you know, put it elsewhere and start another pan afresh. But it really is a really good recipe. And if you're already used to the labor and love that goes into fried chicken, you'll find this to be a very pleasant surprise. And one thing about coconut oil, it will get a little frothy. But once the moisture gets cooked out of it, it'll calm back down, and you don't want to mix coconut oil with any other oil, or this frothiness won't go away. It'll continue to froth, and it'll actually overflow the skillet. I've had experiments where I've mixed it with a little bit of butter for fried potatoes, and it's gotten real frothy because the fats don't mix right. So don't be concerned if you see that, because that's perfectly natural for coconut oil cooking.
Hey, we're back, and I'll tell you what, brother, it's smelling good here. And I'll tell you, the chicken, you done 3 drumsticks here.
Yes, sir.
And they take about 20 minutes.
Well, roughly.
Until they get this nice little golden texture to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then about a half an hour for the bigger pieces like the thighs.
Yeah. A chicken breast would probably take about 35 minutes. Just because it's such a big piece of meat, it's got to cook all the way to the bone.
Okay. Well, in front of me, I have a piece of this delicious chicken. And yeah, so now, here's the big thing. He's been telling me about this, okay? So now, I asked him to try it. And I was kind of hesitant, because gluten's got a particular flavor.
Yep.
So now, I was kind of hesitant. Okay, what about the taste? I
Oh,
think it tastes better, especially with the coconut oil.
Yes. The coconut oil gives it a more sweeter flavor, as opposed to like corn oil or vegetable oil. It gives it a little acidic, and it just really tops it off and makes it really good all around.
I got a fork, so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go into it and I'm going to taste this and see what it tastes like. I know it's still hot, but let's see the heat coming off of it. Oh man, the smell. It's like if you go into any quality restaurant, the smell is there. You see it's done, it's juicy. It's not fried out. I mean, it's not dried out.
Nope. I think we have a new fan.
This is very tender.
Yes.
And it's not like sometimes fried chicken we buy to it, it's like got that rubber taste to it. This is like a tender, moist piece of meat.
That's good old Southern cooking for you.
Oh man.
I think I've converted him. Oh.
I think we got a new cook for Sukkot.
I do like to cook. I used to attend a Sukkot where they had me do the barbecue every year. Because somebody would bring like a whole lamb, and they would have the quarters and stuff, and they'd have me roast it over a fire. They do like it.
Now you're speaking my language now.
Oh, man.
You're speaking my language. This is delicious. Let me urge you to try the gluten-free flour. And like I said, what we have here today is kosher, so everything is kosher.
Yep.
But it does give it a great flavor. You get a great texture, the color. It's moist, and the flavor is, I mean, it is exploding in your mouth.
Yeah.
Boom.
You don't want it to be rubbery. You want it to be melt in your mouth tender.
So, yeah. So right now he's got the other word, the thighs on the, as we say, on the chicken in the pan. So let's find that up and everything. So we're gonna get out of his way and have his hair. Obadyah, I appreciate you letting us come in here and film this.
Thank
with
you,
us.
thank you.
This is delicious.
Uh,
Listen, we appreciate you.
I do love sharing. I do love sharing. So he's gonna take it. He's gonna get himself quite a bit more. I don't blame him.
So for myself and for Obadyah, thank you for inviting us to come into your home and to your beautiful wife, Abigail. For allowing us to come into her home, and homes is the sanctuary of the woman sometimes, and so we're blessed to have her. So we say thank you, ma'am, and so thank you, sir.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Once again, try this chicken out. You're going to love it.
It's good.
So I want to say to my beautiful wife back in South Africa, Catherine, I love you, and you're going to love this chicken.
You need to come try my chicken sometime. You're gonna want to take it home and cook it for people.
I think we have another thing to go on to the menu back at the diner in South Africa.
We're gonna bring Southern culture to Southern Africa.
Yeah, there you go.
We're gonna redefine Southern culture for them.
Southern cuisine's going to have a whole new meaning.
That's right. Yes, sir.
For myself, my beautiful wife in South Africa, for Obadyah, for his beautiful wife Abigail, for inviting us here. Thank you for watching Kick'N It Kosher.